miracles. That's easy. I can make.
Got the roots, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No. Got the roots, he let the beat. Got the roots, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.
Yo, what's going on, man? We live from the boxing section. Shout out to everybody that has came through. Hustler Home, my dog, straight out of Texas, Cletus. My dog, Fred, Barbershop Conversations, Rod Brown, Dave the Real Thomas, highly anticipated, Centos Boxing, DB, DJ, my dog, Sir, Boxing Conversation with Reggie Owens, Brother Code 10. Man, SS, man, that name long as hell, man. What's going on? Phil H, what's happening? What's going down? What's going down? So today, man, we talking JI, what's going on, man? So today we talking MMA. We're going to break down everything about MMA. This episode is MMA for Dummies. All right. So as soon as I'm gonna put the link in the chat, of course we're gonna have DB hop on, and me and DB gonna chop it up about this thing, and then we're gonna have everybody else hop in, of course. Let me get to these names real quick though. EP, what's going on? Michael Westbrook, what's happening? SF City Slicker, what's going down? Yes, indeed, man. We're gonna have a good show tonight, man. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling awake. You know what I mean? I got the Red Bull on deck, little orange juice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I'm feeling good. So DB, man, go ahead and join the panel real quick, so we can break some stuff down and go from there. So we back. All right. Yeah, DB, man, it's on you, man. The link is in the chat, so just go ahead and hop on, man. This is MMA for Dummies, and I am one of the dummies. You know what I'm saying? He got to break some stuff down for me, so you know. Yeah, man. If y'all have any questions for DB, man, make sure I put them in the chat, and we're definitely in the house. Put them in the chat, and definitely. What's going on, my dog? DB, what's happening, man? Hey,
What's up, family? What's up with you?
Hustle Hub, we're gonna get you on right after the, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna do the introduction real quick, and we're gonna break some stuff down, and then we'll add people on.
Where my brother DJ at?
He said he waiting, but I gotta get you in here first though, because we gotta break some shit down. Cause
let's do
it. Look. So this is live from the boxing session. This is MMA for Dummies. So my dog is gonna break some stuff down for me because I gotta figure out some stuff myself. All right. So what I want to do is I want to go through every weight class. I want you to tell us what the weight is at that weight class. And I also want you to give us the two best.
You cut out, Kyle. Say it again.
Hell, we back. We good? Hear me now?
I can hear you now, but I didn't hear what you said.
Okay. So what we're gonna do is, because welterweight in MMA and welterweight in boxing are different. So I want you to break the differences in the weight classes, and then I want you to two best fighters from those weight classes.
Okay.
All right. So kick it off, man, because you know what I'm saying, this is most of us about MMA. So this is the episode for you to drop it on this, man. And this is MMA for Dummies.
Cool. So the first one, I'm gonna start at the top. So heavyweight. Heavyweight has a limit of 265 pounds. So if a guy's walking around at 290, 300 pounds, like you can't be over 265 is the limit for a heavyweight. I know a lot of people right now might consider Stipe Miocic as the heavyweight GOAT, because he's got this crazy resume, but because he has the most title defenses in heavyweight history in terms of the UFC. Right now, I would say I'm going to have to put him at number 2, but I would say that Francis Ngannou knocks this guy out in a few days, and Francis Ngannou will be reigning supreme as the number 1 heavyweight. As I mentioned before, he's like the Deontay Wilder. He started in the sport late. He's had his trials and tribulations in his life, and something brought him to this point. So he's doing it for more than just the sport. You know what I'm saying? He's got a great story behind him too, being homeless and all this. But I think Francis Ngannou is that guy. Now, is he the most complete? He's definitely not the most complete. He's not the most technical. He doesn't have any proven ground game. But in terms of his power and his striking, this dude is the real deal. So I would put those two as 1 and 2. But in the heavyweight division, it's really tough too, because Curtis Blades is a wrestler. I know he just got knocked out by the Black Beast, Derek Lewis, but he's got really good striking, and he's a phenomenal wrestler. So he would probably be 3rd, and then Derek Lewis, who just beat him, would be in 4th. So I know you asked for 2, but I just wanted to give a little extra sauce to that. Which takes us down to the next one, which is the light heavyweight division. See, unlike boxing, who's got cruiser and other weight classes in between, so in MMA, it's heavyweight and it's light heavyweight. So if you ever see LHW, that's for light heavyweight, and the maximum weight is, there's 2 answers actually for this, and this goes for all divisions. The maximum weight is 206 pounds, but if it's a title fight, the maximum weight is 205. You get an extra leeway pound if it's not a title fight. So the top 2 and the light heavyweight division, man, shit, that's tough. Well, Jan Blachowicz is the champion right now. So, it's kind of tough to not put the champion in there. And the guy who was the mandatory or the number 1 contender, as they call him in MMA, his name is Glover Teixeira. It will probably be Glover Teixeira after that, because John Jones has moved up to the heavyweight division, and can't really rank John at heavyweight yet because he hasn't done anything up there yet, even though he's considered widely as the GOAT. but that's for the light heavyweight division. Next is the middleweight division. So same thing. The weight limit is 186 pounds, but if it's a title fight, the weight limit is 185 pounds. This one right now, it's without a doubt that Israel Adesanya is the king of the middleweight division. The number 2 would probably be Robert Whitaker, and I think he's probably the number 1 contender for right now. But very soon, Kevin Holland. Can y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
The hell is going on my internet? Okay. Salute to you, JB. Salute J.A. Dixon. Tone Brown. Salute to my brother. My bad, DB. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to make sure y'all could hear me because it felt like it cut out. What's up, Jason? JB in the building. Yeah, but I think Robert Whitaker is the second best, but soon I think after 1 to 2 fights, it may be the young and upcoming prospect Kevin Holland. He's got some he's got a kung fu style, so when he's standing up, his fight style looks like, if anybody's familiar with Michael Venom Page over in Bellator, he's got a similar kind of, wavy drunken master style. When he's standing up, it looks very relaxed, sort of lazy, but he's got long limbs. He kicks really well, and he's got a black belt under Travis Lutter, who is a respected jiu-jitsu black belt and professor. So if you take him down, see, this is the difference between him and Izzy. Take Izzy down. Izzy just got a purple belt, so he's more like an advanced blue, not necessarily a purple. But Kevin Holland is a legit black belt. So if you take him down, you're liable to get choked out or get one of your limbs pulled off. So those would be at the middleweight division. And then this question right here is crazy because my BM was asking me this question before too, because she watches boxing. So she knows that welterweight is 147 pounds. So when she started getting into MMA, she would always get confused because in MMA, welterweight is 170 pounds. Again, same rule as with the other ones. It's 171 is the limit, but when it is a title fight, it's 170 pounds. This is an easy one. The king of the welterweight division is Kamaru Usman, and number 2, even though there's still some stuff that's I can't say it's easy. It would be between Leon Edwards and Gilbert Burns as the second guy. I have a feeling that my brother DJ will disagree with that. With who's second, but I think Usman is first, and then maybe Leon and then Gilbert. So that is in the welterweight division. After welterweight, what do you have? We have lightweight. Same rule applies. 156 pounds is the limit for a non-title fight. In terms of a title fight, it's 155 pounds. Khabib Nurmagomedov, who just retired with an undefeated record of 29-0. I think he just beat Justin Gaethje for that last fight. Had a phenomenal career, but it was announced officially this morning that he's retired. So I'm going to say right now the top guy, I'll say Charles Oliveira and Justin Gaethje. I think those would be the top 2 guys. And then Michael Chandler may fall right underneath there. He's only had 1 fight in the UFC. He won by knockout. He beat Dan Hooker, but Dan Hooker's not the most complete guy. He's a solid fighter, but not the most complete guy. So he's got to show me something to show me that he deserves to be the 1 or 2, even though he is scheduled to fight against Charles Oliveira for the vacant lightweight title that Khabib just left behind. So the next one is featherweight. Featherweight is 146, and title fights 145-pound weight limit. This is a good one. One of my homeboys, Brian Ortega, getting ready to fight against Alexander Volkanovski. I'm gonna say my homeboy Brian is number 1, and nope, let me take that back because Max beat him. So Max number 1, Brian Ortega number 2, and I say Volkanovski is number 3, even though he's a champ. He had 2 close fights with Max Holloway, and they were both they could have went either way. I think I had Max winning the second fight, and the first fight I think I had it as a draw. But yeah, I would say Max Holloway, Brian Ortega, and Alexander Volkanovski. And Alexander Volkanovski is a short, stocky guy. He's kind of like a Sean Porter style, short, stocky, thick, big, hard head. Can't knock this dude out. You got to really hit him right on the button. But he trains out of City Kickboxing in New Zealand with Israel Adesanya, and they got a pretty big camp over there. Brad Riddell and some other guys. Let's see. And let's move down to
Real quick, let me shout some folks out real quick.
Yep.
Philip H. Salute to you, my brother. Boxing pugilist, man. Salute, brother. My dog, Mir, home team. Salute. Zibble. Salute to you, my brother. P. Good. Welcome back, man. Cam, salute to you, my brother. Also, once DB is finished breaking down the weight classes, everybody is welcome. We're not letting anybody beat me just yet until after we break down the weight classes. After we break down the weight class, everybody can join, and then we'll go from there for sure.
Yeah. Any questions? Did anybody have any questions so far though in the chat? I can't see it. So about the top weight classes.
You got a question about Justin Pedroia, but he gonna join the panel. So most of the people got the questions, they're gonna join the panel. So you can go ahead.
All right, cool. And then next, what do we have next? We have after feather. What do we have? We have bantamweight. Bantamweight is, I think this is pretty easy. Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling. Those are 1 and 2. They just had a fight. Peter Yan, dirty, filthy Russian who had an intentional illegal blow to Aljamain's head when he was a grounded opponent, which means that he had when he either had his knees or his hands on the ground. It's illegal to strike an opponent with the knee when they're down. So he hit him in his face, and he was disqualified. And Aljamain Sterling has the belt, but they have a rematch coming up. But I think those are the top 2 guys in the division. So, and then my old jiu-jitsu coach. Yep.
You can read Mir's question. I posted it back. They got on me in the chat about it.
Okay, hold on one second. Let me see. And before I forget this too, my old jiu-jitsu coach Pedro Munoz would be number 3 because I think he beat Marlon Moraes, Frankie Edgar, Cody. He beat all those fucking dudes. Let me see. Let me go to it. Hold on. Shit, I can't see it. What can you tell me what it says?
This guy is talking just a casual. He knows nothing about UFC. Oh shit, my bad. What's the question? Put it down one more time, man. My bad, cuz I'm trying to do hella things at once, man. My bad, bro. Right, put it back so I can read it, bro. My fault.
Oh, I see it now. They said this guy is just talking. He's a casual when he knows nothing about UFC. And if he has a problem, tell him to meet me at Fight Academy. Hey, listen, homie, I don't want no smoke. So, yeah, I'm just a casual guy, man. So please stall me out. That's my bro right there. Yeah. All right, let's see. What else do we have after this? Let me see. We are at 1. Oh, we're at flyweight now. So flyweight is 126-pound weight limit, and title fights 125 pounds. This one has a lot of talent down there, man. But I'm gonna say the 1 and 2 guys. The champion is Davison Figueiredo, and number 2 will probably be Brandon Moreno. They just had a barn burner. I believe it was in December. It may have been November, December, but they just had a great fight, man. I believe it was by most MMA platforms chose as the fight of the year. So they getting ready to run it back though. So Brazil-Mexico rivalry. That's kind of like Puerto Rico and Mexico in boxing. Not really, but it sounds good. Yeah, and I think that all the other guys are a step.
Damn, I don't know what hell just happened. Hold on. DB, you back?
Yeah, I'm here. I ain't going nowhere.
It's like you went away for a second. I don't know what the hell happened.
Oh, damn. Okay. Well, I think they got that. I got that weight class, but and that was flyweight, 126 pounds, 125, and Davison Figueiredo and Brandon Moreno would be the 1 and 2. And then we get to the ladies, women's, that would be featherweight. That's going to be a defunct division. Matter of fact, it may be gone already. And Amanda Nunes is the champion at that weight. That's 145 pounds. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that the fight that she just had with Megan Anderson was probably the last one. So that division is going to get wiped away. And another reason why I think that division is going to be gone too, because they don't want and this may sound a little controversial, and we could talk when the brothers get on the panel, but the same way how they did with just remind me, DJ, y'all remind me, and we can get back to this one when you guys get on the panel. But we'll talk about why that division is probably no longer there too, other than the talent not being there. But this has something to do with Clarissa Shields. So let's see. This is the women's. Damn, what's after that? That's the featherweight, and then the women's bantamweight, which is 135. And the champion there is Amanda Nunes. Some people consider her as the GOAT of the division, or I'm sorry, of women's MMA. And so yeah, she would be the best definitely in that division. And number 2 would probably be between either Holly Holm or Germaine de Randamie. They fought before. Germaine won the decision, but she had she had 3 illegal blows. She hit Holly Holm after rounds 1, 2, and 3 after the bell. Didn't get a point taken away either time, none of the times. But Holly Holm just outclassed Irene Aldana. I mean, she styled on her in an easy cruise. And Aldana was ranked number 3, I believe, at the time. So yeah, Amanda Nunes, Germaine de Randamie, and Holly Holm. Those would be the top 3. And let's see. Then we have the women's flyweight, which is 126-pound limit and 125 if it's a title fight. And this is an easy one. The champion, Valentina Bullet Shevchenko. She actually had 2 fights with Amanda before, and these are really close fights. As a matter of fact, I had her winning the last fight that they gave to Amanda. But yeah, she's definitely the best there. And
Bro, what the hell is going on, bro? Yo, DB.
yeah, right here.
I don't know what the hell is going on with my damn internet, but it keeps cutting you off. Go ahead.
Okay. And let's see, we are at the strawweight. I think we have the strawweights now. Strawweights are 116 and 115 pounds if it's a title. The champion is Weili Zhang, and the number 2 or the number 1 ranked contender is Rose Namajunas. I have Rose Namajunas as the top fighter in the division, and she's scheduled to fight against Weili Zhang in the coming weeks, and I think she'll take that title there. But those are the top 2 females down there. Yeah, and that's it, man. That covers all of the divisions. The 2 or 3 women's division, 4, yeah, feather, bantam, fly, and straw. Yeah, 4 women's divisions, but like I said, the featherweight will be defunct pretty soon. So that is that lineup. What you got?
So
questions.
So shout out to my boy Shaw Ghaffari. This dude right here. He's one of my coworkers. He's a real big MMA fan. He's actually an MMA fighter. He used to train. He's about to go. Get some.
Kyle, your internet is fucked up.
I don't know what the hell is going on today, bro. My shit is just trash right now. Ernest Brown, salute to you, my brother. All right, everybody, join the panel. Everybody, join the panel. Cam, join the panel. DJ, you already in here.
Red. My guy, DB.
What up, DJ? What up with you?
What's going on, man? What's going on? Kyle, my guy in the boxing section. What's going on, baby?
What's going on, family? How you feeling tonight, man?
Feeling lovely, man. Got the night off. Let's work today, baby. It's gonna get hot in here. That's why that modem going out. It's about to get hot, baby.
Yes, indeed.
I'm about to go check on the modem in a second. And I tell y'all what, I don't gotta be at work until 8 in the morning tomorrow. So we're gonna have a
Let's work
tonight. Shout out to Sir Reggie Owens. We're gonna have a Reggie Owens stream tonight, man. We going in. I ain't gotta work until 8 o'clock in the morning. So it's going down. And even if I leave, even if I leave to go to sleep, I know y'all still gonna be going in. So if I gotta go run upstairs to the wife, I know I can count on y'all to keep it going. All right. So everybody, if you want to join the panel, let me put it in real quick. I'll put this in the chat. Everybody join in. Let's see.
Boom. While you're doing that, let me go through this right here. Thanks, Reggie. Reggie said this has been good. Highly anticipated in the building. My brother Yova, Cali repping it here. And Mir said is Rose fighting Jang. Yeah. She's fighting on the Kamaru Usman and Jorge Masvidal undercard. So they also have who's the other girls fighting on that card? DJ. I can't think of it right now.
Oh shit! I just looked at that card like 2 hours ago too. Dang,
it's Shevchenko. It's Bullet. Bullet is fighting.
Bullet's about to watch somebody else. Bullet's about to watch somebody else real quick. That's my girl there, man. That's probably the only girl I actually pay to see fight. I love Bullet, man. I love her.
Yeah. I love Rose, man. I love Thug Rose.
Thug Rose, yes. I love Thug Rose. That's gonna be a great fight between her and Zhang Wei Li. Really don't have a prediction for that fight. That fight really can go either way. As far as your breakdown, something I was looking up today.
Yeah.
Your analysis of Stipe or your bias towards Stipe is
against Stipe.
I respect it. I respect
bias
it.
Against Stipe.
I respect it though, because it's your honest opinion. But this whole thing about Francis was green the first time they fought. Can you tell me when Francis turned pro? It was 2013. You know when Stipe turned pro? 2010. So they're not that far apart. When they fought, Stipe only had 18 pro fights. Francis had 13. So they're not that far apart. They both got late starts. Now, as far as like being the heavyweight GOAT or whatever, that's solely based on Stipe defending the belt 4 times, which no heavyweight had ever done in the UFC. Not Brock Lesnar, not Cain Velasquez, not Junior Dos Santos, and even the guy who Stipe beat for the title, and Fabricio Verdun, who had just tapped out. You got to remember, this guy tapped out Fedor. This guy tapped out Cain Velasquez, who at that time was the most terrifying heavyweight in the division. The only problem that I had with your breakdown was the number 2 guy. Now, we strictly talking UFC or we talking MMA as a whole? Because if we're talking MMA as a whole, then the number 2 guy in the world has to be Douglas Lima over in Bellator. It has to be. Kamaru Usman by far and away is the number 1 guy to me. He hasn't lost a fight since his first pro fight. Nobody's come close to beating him. So as far as your breakdown, that's the only thing we differ on.
Okay, let me run through this real quick. So currently, right now, let me run through these names right here. Stipe is the champion. Francis is the number 1 contender. Derek Lewis is number 2. Curtis Blades number 3. Cyril Gane is number 4. Alexander Volkov is number 5. Rosenstruik, Shamil, Walt Harris, Augusto Sakai, and Chris Dawkins, which is new, but Marcin Tybura. Those are the top 11 guys.
Shout out to Walt Harris, man, Birmingham, Alabama.
Yeah, shout out to Walt. You know what I'm saying? And rest in peace, his baby girl. So
rest in peace to Anaya, man.
Yes. So outside of Francis, who has Stipe fought in the top 12? I could really go to top 15. Who else has he fought?
I mean, all the guys that he beat are all-time greats, and they're no longer in the UFC. But but the guys who he's beaten, like I said, are all-time great. And you got to think about it. In heavyweight, in MMA, your prime is extended to what, 37, 38? So you got to think he knocked out Alistair, knocked out Junior after Junior got a controversial decision over him in the first fight, which I thought Stipe won the first fight, but they gave it to Junior.
Junior won that.
Huh?
Junior won that
I don't
fight.
think Junior won that first fight.
Okay. But
but
going to I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But you got to think,
go ahead. Go ahead. I'll respond.
These guys now, even though you're saying these guys are all-time greats, listen, we all know that guys have their time. You understand? So it's just like Nick Diaz or Anderson Silva or BJ Penn. These are all-time greats. And then you have guys who have wins over these dudes on their record. I think between the three of them, they have 4 wins in the last 10 years. 4 wins in the last 10 years. And these are like, 3 of my top 10 all time. I mean, for a lot of us, right? We definitely look at these dudes as GOATs, entertaining fighters. And we can look at them as GOATs, but then somebody will have that win on their record. And it's looked as if they beat Anderson Silva in 2009. And that just ain't the case. Stipe's fought a lot of these dudes, man, far after their primes. Well, I can't say far after, but after their prime years are over. So, beating up a punch drunk ragdoll like Junior Dos Santos, it ain't the same Junior Dos Santos that fought against Cain Velasquez some years back. When Stipe came in, when Brock Lesnar was in here doped up and other dudes had to fight him, Stipe didn't fight him. When Cain Velasquez was running through,
we're not even going to speak on that juice head gorilla Brock Lesnar. We're not even going to speak on him.
Right. No, I don't like him, but
I don't like that asshole either. But go ahead.
But when Cain Velasquez was running through the division, Stipe didn't fight him. So he didn't fight these dudes when he didn't fight these top athletes in their prime, and now he hasn't fought these guys here. He spent his time fighting against Daniel Cormier, who is an undersized, we all know, no matter how great he is and what he's done at heavyweight before that. But we all know that he's 5'10", 11. He's undersized, and he spent 3 years of his fighting career fighting against Daniel Cormier. So, listen, we give the guy a lot of credit, and he's good. He's got good boxing. I wouldn't say he's great because Daniel Cormier, being a wrestler at 5'11", was tagging his head for all 3 fights, even the fights he lost. Daniel Cormier was winning those fights until he got knocked out, right? I'm pretty sure you would probably agree.
Okay, we just talking heavyweight. We're talking heavyweight. We're just talking fights against Stipe, right?
Right.
Because he wasn't winning against John Jones. The only two, we can say whatever we want about Daniel Cormier being 5'10", being undersized.
No. Just against Stipe. Just Stipe. I'm talking about
we're talking just against Stipe. Okay. I just want to get that clear. Go ahead.
Yeah. So in those Stipe fights, first fight, DC knocks him unconscious, sends his ass to Saturn, right? He's sitting on the ring of Saturn.
Facts.
Second fight, DC is tagging his head. Using boxing, DC is far from a boxer. Tagging his head until Stipe found those body shots, those liver shots and kidney shots, and started working the body. What was that, 4th round, right? Before that, though, rounds 1 through 3.
It was third. I want to say it was the 3rd round when he started working the body, and I think he finished him in the 4th round.
In the 4th round, right? And then same thing in the last fight, right? It was very similar. DC was tagging his head. And Stipe had the controversial eye poke to Daniel Cormier. Then he couldn't see, and that's when Stipe went to work and then finished the fight there. But so like we look at this dude and they're calling him a GOAT. And I just, listen, I'm not saying hating, but I'm speaking. This is all facts. These are like, people say facts as a figure of speech. I'm actually stating facts right now. So I don't know. And
hey, what's good? What's good? It's your boy H Money, Mr. Supreme in his mug. You dig? What's popping? Hey, I got a special guest. I got my boy right quick. Tap Out King, my little broski. You feel me? We straight out of LA with it, man. West Adams, stand up. But yeah, hey, so he talking about Stipe being the GOAT. My boy Tap Out King, Lil Broski, would you say Stipe is the GOAT at heavyweight?
Yes, sir. The most title defenses. So, you got to say it. On paper, he's the best heavyweight of all time.
The most title
defenses. Best of all time, absolutely not. Best of all time, absolutely
most title defenses. He just said something though. Most title defenses, bro.
In the UFC. UFC.
Let me finish my point though.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I know when I land a punch, it might hurt. You feel me? But I got more to come, right? Because I throw combinations, punches and bunches, right? Because Stipe, you know what I mean, is an animal. The most title defenses in the history of the heavyweight division. You know what I mean? And then he avenged his loss against Daniel Cormier, 2-time heavyweight champion. Let's not forget to mention that. You know what I mean? Coming off a defeat, knocks out Daniel Cormier in a rematch. You know what I mean? So I think, DB, what you think about the title defenses, though? What my brother said.
I mean, listen, I think some of it, this rhetoric and this narrative comes from listening to the overhyping that Joe Rogan puts on some of the fighters. Nobody has ever mentioned that until Joe Rogan said it. Once Joe Rogan said it, then Dana White was obviously a parrot to Joe Rogan and repeated that, regurgitated the same bullshit. And then that's when fans ran with it. Joe Rogan and outside of the fighters, Joe Rogan is the biggest influencer for people who watch not just the UFC, but MMA. And then Dana White secondarily to that. So, listen, for people who want to say it, I'll give them a little bit of pushback, but whatever. He did get beat by Junior Dos Santos, who's considered a ragdoll at this point. And he also got knocked out by an undersized Daniel Cormier. And then he was also beat and didn't get a chance to avenge his loss against the skyscraper, Stefan Struve, several years ago. So, listen, if Lil Bro says that, I'll give him a little bit of argument. I'll give him my logic. But if he still want to run with that, then,
okay.
So be it.
He did beat Stipe. I mean, Stipe did beat what's my boy Francis Ngannou. He beat Francis Ngannou. He beat the top guys. So if you look at his run at heavyweight, arguably you could say he has the best career.
That's debatable, but okay.
Okay, that's all I had on it. That was little bro brought that to the table.
Real quick, man, my boy Ty Fitness, my dog Tyron Johnson, man. Appreciate you for sliding through here, my dog. Hey, so listen, H Money, man, I appreciate you for sliding through here, man. You've been going crazy these last couple of days. Man, your stream's been going for 10-hour days, my nigga. Man, keep doing your thing, my brother. So, listen, man, we're going to have everybody hit this. I'm going to ask a couple questions, man, and then everybody gets a turn. We're just going to bounce around. We're going to start off with DB, of course. We're going to go DJ. Then we'll go Cam, H Money, and then we'll go Mike Dub. Okay? Is everybody with it?
Yes, sir.
All right. So, should Adesanya want that John Jones fight? We'll kick it off with DB.
Oh man, that's tough. In terms of striking, I still think that Israel Adesanya is a better striker than John Jones, but John Jones is a really, really big dude. When he was fighting at 205, he was already big. So this is literally a heavyweight. In heavyweight, he'd be relatively small or medium sized. But you got to think he was still the size of a heavyweight. He's 6'4". He's got the longest reach in the company with 84.5 inches. So it'll be tough for Izzy to land clean punches on John Jones. He's great with keeping his distance and also with using his elbows, and then his takedowns are second to none. So I don't really want that fight for Izzy right now. I think that when they're standing up, it could relatively be, I don't know, pretty even maybe at some points of the fight. But John Jones is, extremely cerebral. And if he gets a takedown, not necessarily going to get a submission, but his ground and pound and his top control is just crazy. So with all of that being said, I don't want to see that fight for Izzy right now.
Okay. DJ.
Yeah, I'm with DB on that. I do not want to see that fight. I think John Jones would. His problem lately is he's been playing with his food. I don't think he's been motivated by the Thiago Santoses and the Dominic Reyes of the world. But the last time I saw him extremely motivated was the second Alexander Gustafsson fight. And he got him out of there in 2 rounds because a lot of people were saying that Gustafsson beat him in that first fight. So he was like, okay, I've been through a lot. That's when he was going through all his out of the octagon experiences. And he came back and absolutely destroyed him. Now, what I believe John would do is he'd see if he could strike with Izzy first, because that's what he prided himself on early in his career. Oh, you're a wrestler? I'm going to take you down and I'm going to cut you up with elbows. Oh, you're a striker. Okay, I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna bang with you. So it all comes down to what his game plan would be for that fight. I don't think Izzy is a good matchup for him. I think Izzy would get off early. John would continue to pressure him, and then eventually he'd lock him up, put him up against the cage, start hitting him with those long kicks, because nobody has successfully been able to get into side of John's range consistently. He has this standing front leg side kick where he literally stomps on your knee. And right. I think, Izzy doesn't have the biggest legs in the world, but neither does John. But Izzy doesn't have the biggest legs in the world. And I think after a few of those, it's going to take the spring away from some of Izzy's kicks. And once his quickness is gone, because that's the only advantage he would probably have at the 205-pound weight limit at the light heavyweight class. That's the only advantage he'd have. Once his quickness is gone, John's going to kill him.
Okay. Cam.
What's going on, everybody? Yeah, I think Izzy should stay away from John for sure. That fight with Jan showed his ground game is not up to par yet. I think he would be dominated. As far as the feet, I think he would be okay. But John wouldn't even play with him, I don't think. I think he'd get in there and instantly try to get him to the ground. But I really wanted to comment on the Stipe topic, because they kept talking about how Daniel Cormier knocked him out. He was coming off that war with Francis right before that. I think he took that Cormier fight less than 5 months after. So people say that has a lot to do with how he knocked him out so quick.
Okay.
Well, we shall see, because he's going to get in there with him again. So, and after taking these punches from Daniel Cormier, a lot of headshots, and having a torn cornea or retina, I'm sorry. Yeah, he's and with Francis adding some more wrinkles to his game with a hard low leg kick. I think this is going to be a really, really tough fight for Stipe. If Stipe can't take him down immediately, he's in a world of trouble. But
yeah.
H Money.
What's good? What's good? What's good, my boy?
What's going on? So, do you think Izzy should stay with John Jones?
Yeah, he said he's moving down to middleweight anyway, so I don't see that fight. I don't think it's gonna happen. And can Izzy beat John Jones? It's possible. He can do it. John Jones, I seen him against Dominic Reyes. He didn't look that good in that one. John Jones, I know you like to call people cheaters, right? The boxing section. John Jones, how many times he got caught? You know what I mean? Now, I want to see you keep that same energy. You know what I mean? Because how many times does he got to get caught before you call him out? Now, you talking MMA, and you know what I mean? We got DV on the panel, and he know everything about the sport. You feel me? My little brother, he be cooking. So Izzy, it's best that he go back down to middleweight like he said. I think that's what he's going to do. I would like to see a rematch between Izzy and the guy that just beat him. I would like to see that, but he's still a good fighter. A true champion can take a loss and bounce back. That's what I'm going to say.
So, Mike Dub.
Yeah, John Jones is just too big and too skilled for Izzy, man. He could break apart a big, fighter that isn't that skilled, but there's too many dimensions to his game, man. And I was at the first John Jones Daniel Cormier fight, man, when he was on the cocaine, and he didn't have one problem with that dude, man, at all. So I don't see Israel being able to, unless he get a flash knockout. He will get stopped, man. And then I got one more thing to say about Stipe Miocic. To me, he's like the Vladimir Klitschko of heavyweight MMA fighting right now. It's like, yeah, he has this record. Look at all the defenses Klitschko had, but who did he fight? You know what I mean? That's all I got to say. Y'all go ahead.
talk to him, Michael. Talk to him.
Okay, quick response to H Money as far as John Jones cheating. USADA came back and proved that the last time he supposedly tested positive for steroids, that it was a tainted supplement, and the amount that they found in his body, because they tested him twice, the amount that they found in his body was not enough for a performance enhancing benefit.
But that's the same thing Canelo said. It doesn't make it
no,
right.
No, they raised the levels. They raised the levels for Canelo. They raised the levels for Canelo. That's different.
He's a cheater, and he's been a cheater. So he got caught multiple times. So it's no sense of over here defending a cheater. I don't do that. You know what I mean? So you shouldn't do the same thing. The man got caught.
It's one thing to say. It's one thing to say.
He's a
it's
cheater,
one thing to say that you can't put him and Canelo in the same boat, because they didn't change the rule for John. They changed the rule for Canelo.
They both cheated. He tested positive, yes or no? Did he test positive, yes or no?
For steroids, bro. Come on, man. He in the same boat as Canelo. You know what I'm saying? They both pop dirty. You can't. There's nowhere around that. Let's keep it 1,000. We love John Jones. We get it, but the nigga pop dirty. We can't look past it.
But it's not that black and white, though.
Well,
it's not that black and white. Because if you want to do that, then there's been a lot of guys that has tested positive that the USADA has come back and said, oh, well, it wasn't this. It was a tainted supplement. You know, you can't say that, even after these guys have told you that the science behind it, what was in his body was not enough to enhance his performance.
That's a lie, bro. That's a lie.
They didn't know. That's not a lie. That's coming straight from Jeff Novitzky.
He's been a cheater. He got caught plenty of times. So let's see what DB.
Okay, he got caught for cocaine and weed.
Nah,
he got caught for cocaine and weed.
Same energy. Hold on. Keep the same energy you got for Canelo and Tyson Fury with John Jones right now.
That's okay. Listen, that's the panel question. We're gonna start with.
He's a cheater.
We're gonna start with DB. We're gonna go back to DJ, Cam, H Money, Mike Dub. Do you believe that John Jones popped dirty? And what do you say about that, DB?
Yeah, well, I mean, both guys have a point there. Listen, a dirty test is a dirty test. However, as DJ mentioned, it's not that black and white, because it was proven by USADA, and also with the UFC's in-house testing, and also with the factory that manufactured the supplements that sponsored John Jones. It wasn't just John Jones, by the way. There were 6 other fighters too that they sponsored. Yeah, that's it. And as DJ mentioned too, it wasn't enough to affect his performance. And the other things, like when they start mentioning like dope in his system, the cocaine and all those things, those things are not supposed to be reported, because that happens with probably the majority of fighters or a lot of fighters. And it's against policy for the commission or for USADA to mention that in the reports. So they are just supposed to be testing for performance enhancing drugs, and that's it. So that's my answer.
Okay. We're going H Money and then Mike Dub.
Yeah, I mean, it's already proven that he's a cheater. We been knew that, years ago. So I don't know what the debate is about. You know what I mean? When the man been caught, more than one time, just like Tyson Fury, just like Canelo Alvarez, John Jones is one of the ultimate cheaters in the sport of boxing. And he's not a clean athlete, and we got to call it for what it is. I'm not here to hold his hand through the situation. He got himself into this, you know what I mean? Drinking and driving how many times? Getting high, you know what I mean? Come on, bro. It's not cool what John Jones got away with in the sport. And it's catching up to him. As you've seen him, he got exposed against Dominic Reyes. He's a good fighter, but do I trust him? Is he a clean athlete? No. It's been reported plenty of times. Go YouTube it. Google it right now for yourself. It's out there. I ain't got to lie about shit. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to cap for him.
All right, Cam, go ahead.
Yeah, I think both sides got a point. Because somebody said in the chat talking about there's a story that John hid under the gym octagon when Votto came for a test. That's a rumored alleged situation. But as far as the picograms and all that, the what's his name? Jeff Nowinski, the UFC merger guy between them and the drug testers, he did come out and say that what he had in his system the last time wasn't a performance enhancement drug.
Right. And that it will probably remain in his system with those so-called picogram levels.
Right. He keeps testing for the same thing. The test
so he
said, honestly, is what he says about it.
Yeah. And as they mentioned too, and for some people who don't know what the picogram is, the way Jeff Nowitzki explained it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut anybody off, but the way Jeff Nowitzki explained it was that a picogram will be equivalent to a grain of salt being inside of an Olympic-sized swimming pool. So just think about that for a second. So comparing that to what Canelo was doing, those are completely different.
Well, the boxing section, could you pull up a Red Cliff, his comment right there? He said Vada, he talking about Vada, right? And this is a true story. He said Vada randomly popped up to John Jones' gym. He hid under the gym's octagon for 8 hours until they left. True story. Outside of the other incidents. So hiding, from the taking the test, hiding under the ring for 8 hours. Okay, John Jones. That's a great look, John Jones. Keep up the good work, buddy.
Okay, quick response to that. He fessed up to that and said he had just smoked weed like 2 days before.
Excuses.
I'm just telling you what
excuses. Okay.
Up in here.
Okay. Okay.
Let's get Mike Dub in here real quick. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, I see both sides of the story. He tested positive, but he was also cleared. So I'm gonna roll with the science on that.
Okay. My dog, Sir Reggie Owens.
Yo, man! I just wanted to get in here on this part where, like this new kind of ideal within the sport and what people hold on to, and this is attachment because a person popped hot on a supplement at one point in time that they forever remain as a cheat. I can't rock with that bullshit. I think it's bullshit. It's a bullshit thought of trying to write off someone, and especially people use it when they don't like certain particular fighters. These fighters get tested before going into a fight. It's up to the drug agencies to figure that shit out. Outside of that, a fighter got to be viewed as a clean fighter. I mean, that type of attachment to a fighter is forever being labeled as a cheater is bullshit. Otherwise, why are they continuously competing in the sport? I mean, they get busted in one circumstance, it should be left at where they were busted at. But to say that a person can't continue on and shake that image of himself off of them is bullshit. And I just can't buy into it too, because Jones popped hot once that he's forever labeled as a cheater. Nah, his skills is what has guided him. It's stupid that he's taken it. The same thing we see in track and field. We see track and field, that's where it's very heavy at. And when some of the athletes get up off of that shit, they win gold medals, that attachment ain't attached to them. And I just can't rock with that shit. And it's just some new shit that people have attached to this game, is trying to associate people to write them off, especially when it's high level, top elite athletes who may have popped once or rumored of popping once. People associate that with, they just hear the news and don't dig into the information, especially like in John Jones, like they stated, it ain't all black and white.
I mean,
and even with Canelo popping hot, I mean, he popped hot in that instance, but beyond that, what he's accomplished in one, I mean, you just got to accept it as what it is.
I mean, but they did take what's her name, Marion. They did take her medals though. They did snatch up all her medals. So
yeah, she couldn't get off of that shit. She kept doing it. Then not even that, she was caught in a doping drug ring. She fucked herself.
Hey Reggie, man, stop making people cry, man.
Oh no, man, these are I forget YouTube full of the Ralph Tresvants, sensitive niggas.
Oh, I got another question for the panel. If Daniel Cormier was in his absolute prime. Does Stipe beat him?
That's a definite no. Daniel Cormier would probably beat just about every heavyweight in his absolute prime. Yeah, he's definitely top 5. I mean, the record shows. But damn, it's always tough to tell, man. You know, these hypotheticals like Reggie was talking about with pound for pound. I mean, it's like it's like a wish list sort of thing because Daniel Cormier he had heavy hands, but he didn't have any boxing before. And, you know, as he gotten older, just when you see with other athletes like Kobe and other athletes, they make adjustments because they don't have the same physical attributes. He's grown older, heavier, bad back, bad shoulder, you know, and he developed a boxing game. So his prime, he was a better wrestler, but once he got older, he added a lot better boxing and boxing tools, stand-up tools to his game. So I don't know, it's tough to say, but I definitely don't think that Stipe would have had a chance to beat Daniel Cormier in his prime.
All right, DJ.
You said it. In Daniel Cormier's absolute prime, when he have beaten Stipe. Yes, I believe he would have because we saw outside of his prime that he beat him. But
True.
and to add on to that, Daniel Cormier, by his own admission, probably would have been the second greatest heavyweight ever in the UFC because the guy that was at his gym, he knew he couldn't beat. Not only was it his friends, but the guy Cain Velasquez, who a lot of people consider the greatest heavyweight in the UFC, he knew he couldn't beat him. Like he admitted it several times. I can't beat Cain. We train every day together, and that's why he was able to dominate the other now defunct promotion in Strikeforce. He was able to dominate those guys, being as green as he was in that promotion because he was training with the best heavyweight in the world. So in his prime, yes, I believe it would have been the other fight. The second fight would have been the same result as the first fight because as he got older, Daniel Cormier stopped using his wrestling for some reason, and he fell in love with his kickboxing, and I believe that was to his detriment.
Okay. Mike Dub.
The Daniel Cormier who beat Josh Barnett could beat any heavyweight. He could have beat Cain to me, man. That was a cop-out or whatever, man. But at that time, what he was doing, the way he was doing it or whatever, he could have beat anybody, man. You know, I like Cain Velasquez, but he had a big head, and it was hard to miss that motherfucker. So, you know, I think prime time DC, he could have beat anybody. All right.
Can I jump in there just for 2 seconds? I think at that point, DJ, I think Daniel Cormier was paying homage and showing respect to his best friend. He was also trying to show some humility by saying that he couldn't beat Cain Velasquez. As the brother just said, Cain's got a big head, even though Cain is a very complete fighter. But Daniel Cormier in his prime, I mean, it's proven. Like he cornered and coaches Cain Velasquez through his wrestling. Daniel Cormier is the team captain at AKA, and Daniel Cormier is a more cerebral fighter in there. So with his physical attributes, along with all those other components, I think he definitely is able to beat Cain. Oh yeah.
All right. Reggie Owens, Sir Reggie Owens.
Shit, they didn't convince me. I agree with everything they stated. And a past prime, Cormier was able to beat him. So definitely a prime one would definitely have his number.
For sure. All right. So now I'm gonna let you niggas argue a little bit. I know earlier y'all was gonna argue for sure. But I want everybody to get some running before we went crazy. So right now, where do y'all rank this era in we could say UFC or MMA? Where do y'all rank this era amongst the greats?
All right. So can I just go backwards just for a second? I don't want to get off topic, but just something that Reggie was speaking about, somebody not being a cheater for the rest of their life because they popped dirty once or whatever. And also to H Money, what H Money said. So if anybody has ever worked in a gym before, or if you ever worked for a nutrition or supplement company, you already know that there's three types of companies. There's one that's self-tested. There's another one that's second. And then the highest grade is a third-party testing. So when you have these companies that have third-party testing, that means that they spend additional dollars to have somebody to come to that laboratory to make sure that things are completely cleaned. You understand? So there's no cross-contamination, so to speak, with these supplements, because some places will produce steroids, some places will produce a protein or a creatine or, riboflavin or whatever supplement that there may be. And some caffeinated, some not, ephedras and pseudoephedras and whatnot. So when it's a third-party testing manufacturer or company, then you don't have to deal with those. But those are going to cost a whole lot more. So companies are not going to pay to have to have that third party testing and have that extra cleaning done, because it costs millions of dollars to get done. So they want to do the same thing like a grocery store do. They'll get something from a farmer for cheap, and then they'll sell it, a head of lettuce for $5 or $4, whatever. So, that's something to consider. You know what I mean? And these guys get these sponsorships from these supplement companies because they're gonna provide them with these supplements. They'll pay for things, and they'll have them come out, and they'll give stuff to family and friends. And these fighters and companies like in the UFC or the other MMA companies that were not paying well up until, I don't know, maybe 2020, or paying decent up until about 2020, these fighters had to do everything they could and get everything they could, scratch and claw and whatnot. So anyway, that's just something to consider, though. So these guys get these sponsorships from these supplement companies. They take them, and if they pop dirty, it's usually one of those ones that are first or second grade, not the third grade of testing.
So this is a question right here from Rob Brown. If you want to answer that.
What did he say? He said 2 questions. How much is a takedown worth? A takedown in MMA will be equivalent to a knockdown in boxing. Yeah, I think it's given a little too much respect sometimes and too much credence, from, I'm not a wrestler. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy. I think DJ is a jiu-jitsu guy too. So for guys that come from that submission background, if you get on top of somebody and you're not working, then it shouldn't be given as much credit and as much respect as it is. When you take somebody down, you have to be, grounded and pounding, actively striking from the top or moving towards submissions, so. But yeah, it's worth the same as a knockdown.
And this is the second part to the question.
Yeah. Let me see. As regards to making weight and hydration, how effective is the 1FC urine test to determine solutes levels and dehydration? 1FC. I'm not
about to say,
100% sure.
I'll answer that, DB.
Okay.
1FC does something that the rest of MMA needs to do, and it's hydration test. So pretty much they'll weigh you in as soon as you get there, like every other promotion does. But to keep these guys from cutting too much weight, say like you have a guy that fights at 155, which is the lightweight division. Their walking around weight will probably be 185, 190.
Right.
So instead of having them cut damn near 40 pounds to fight, they'll just have to fight at 170, because your body, they'll test your water levels in your body, and they'll say, okay, it's only safe for you to cut this amount of weight. So what they do is say like a bantamweight. If you're a bantamweight in the UFC, you're a featherweight over in 1FC. So if say like Khabib and Conor and Dustin Poirier, all those guys, instead of cutting down from 180, 190, they'd have to cut down to 170, because the science proves that it's only safe to cut that amount of weight according to their body mass index and the water levels in their body. So they do hydration tests. It was like, okay, we're not going to let you cut more than 10 or 15 pounds. You're not cutting 20, 30, 40 pounds over here. You're going to fight in this weight class. That's why Demetrius Johnson, who fought at 125 in the UFC, is fighting at 135 over in 1FC.
Yep. So I think, DJ, I think that California, New York, and maybe Utah, but I think there's 3 states that was supposed to activate that in January of 2015. I'm sorry, January of this year. But I haven't competed in like 2 years. So, and obviously the world's been shut down, and none of my guys have either. So,
I think California will be the first. And then if it works in California, then it'll spread to Nevada and then New York and all the other markets. But I think California, who's been the most progressive as far as rules and everything, most strict and most progressive at the same time as far as rules and as far as weight cutting, because you remember California was the first one to ban IVs to rehydrate. Right.
Yeah.
So, that was supposed to help these guys not drain themselves. Because you got to think about it, man. Izzy's what? Izzy probably what? He's naturally what? 200, 205 pounds. He's not his walk around weight, and he's cutting down to 185.
Yeah.
And so they're trying to cut down this extreme weight cut because guys have passed out, had liver failure. That's what happened to Robert Whitaker when he was supposed to fight Kelvin Gastelum that first time.
Yeah,
his liver failed while he was trying to cut weight. What was it? His liver or his kidneys failed while he was trying to cut weight because he's a big guy. He's an Aussie. He's cutting down from, probably 210, 215 to fight down at 185. So, and his I forgot whether it was his liver or his kidneys. Khabib's liver failed while he was trying to cut weight for one of those missed Tony Ferguson fights. Oh man, don't get me started.
Also, Max Holloway, when Max was getting ready to fight Khabib, remember that?
Yeah, but Max is big. He cuts from about 170 down to 145.
I want to say he's about one. He was big. He was probably about 185. He was big.
So he's bigger than Conor because Conor's only naturally about 175.
Yeah. Max was big when I went to his gym.
So
okay, see, I've never seen him in person.
Jay Dixon has a question. Do y'all consider prime an age or before they start getting their ass whooped?
It's a combination of both in age, but it's about when they peak with their performance. So somebody can be a young fighter and getting down. Sometimes guys start late. You know what I mean? Like Francis, for example, he started late. And I use this because there's a lot of boxing heads in here, like a Deontay Wilder, guys that start late, so they don't necessarily have the tools that the other guys have until they actually get with the real coach, real trainers, nutritionists, learn the science and the art of cutting weight. So once they got all these things down, you know what I mean? They have good sparring partners where they're not sparring every day, but they got good training partners. And so it's a lot of things that needs to happen for these dudes to be able to go into a place like the PI, the Performance Institute, where they can get therapy and stuff like that done. You have a young broke fighter, and he's just got a dude who lives 2 blocks away from him who owns a little gym, and that's his coach. And the guy doesn't understand because he's never competed. He can't teach a guy like all of the little tricks of the trade. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of things that go into somebody being in their prime, in my opinion.
Yeah, it all depends on when they hit their stride in their career. Say, if a guy enters the UFC at 19, well, his prime is going to be when he's probably around 23, 24 years old until the time he's about 30 or 31. Because you got to think about that time. They've probably fought 2 and 3 times a year, and they've had a lot of experience, probably a couple wars in that cage. And it starts every war that you're in starts to change you. So guys, hit their prime at different times. It all depends on when they started fighting and when they started fighting the upper echelon guys. I say once you start fighting the upper echelon guys, then your prime starts to really be tested.
All right, can I say something?
Let's I'm trying. Yeah, pass it. Let's pass it around. Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, what I consider past the prime is when your gas tank ain't the same, man. When you start getting tired, getting to go those 5 rounds or whatever. Talking about DC and Stipe, man. To me, that loss was a gas tank loss, man. The body shots had something to do with it, but DC just didn't have the motor that he used to have when he was younger and stuff. So to me, it's like a stamina issue. All the other stuff you can work on. And one question for you guys, man. What do you think about AJ McKee? And breaking down, is he the goods, man? Because I keep hearing about this dude.
AJ McKee is the real deal. Like that's
real deal. Real deal. Go ahead, DB. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no matter what promotion he's in. So, because I know sometimes we have UFC groupies instead of MMA fans and spectators, but no matter what gym, company, promotion AJ is in, AJ will be a champion. Point blank, period. Like he's a complete fighter all the way around. His father was an MMA and UFC fighter before. They got a great gym out here in a little east of the South Bay. They got some killers in the gym, and he people say this person lives like an athlete, lives like a fighter. He eats well, he trains well, he gets all this therapy. I mean, all those things that I mentioned before. He's done all those things, but he's not just the physical attributes, but he's also a person who's got the heart for fighting. So he'll go in there and he'll fight against anybody. So I don't necessarily want to see him in the UFC because I don't think that all the talent, all the highest level talent should be at that company and have a monopoly. But I would like to see him fight some of those guys that end up leaving the UFC for better contracts and whatnot, but going over to Bellator so that they can get in the ring with AJ. But yeah, AJ is the goods 1,000%.
Hey, Mike Dub, I have no idea who that is. DJ, go ahead.
AJ McKee is a great example of this new breed of fighter that started training MMA. He didn't train jiu-jitsu and then moved to kickboxing and then went to wrestling. He trained everything together. So when you watch him fight, he transitions from everything effortlessly. The way he choked out what's his name? The Wolf. Last guy he fought, I can't remember that guy's name for nothing. The way he choked out with that Armenian guillotine and kind of cranked his neck with it after piecing him up on the feet and getting taken down, how he slipped that choke in was very, very slick. It's something that these new guys, these high level guys who are able to transition from different positions and different aspects of MMA and different aspects of martial arts very quickly because they trained everything together. And AJ McKee is a great example of that. And like DB said, his father, who is still fighting, he's actually under contract with Bellator as well. And I think he got a win in his last fight. His father probably started him out early, at like 9-10 years old. And he's come up in that gym just training MMA. Not training jiu-jitsu, not training boxing, but training MMA. And he's a great example of the new fighters to follow.
So this is basically another Floyd Mayweather type of situation.
Yeah, a lot of parallels.
You can say that.
Yeah, a lot of parallels.
Yeah, because they used to say the same thing about, I think it's Rory McDonald. They was like, he's just an MMA fighter, and all this or whatever. And I seen him get his ass whipped, so.
Yeah, Rory's getting old, man, and you got to think about it. He had a couple fights, which I think all new MMA fans need to go back and watch that second fight with him. I believe it was in 2015. It was him and Robbie Lawler fighting. DB knows which fight I'm talking about. If you want to be turned on to the sport of MMA, go look up Rory McDonald versus Robbie Lawler 2. That fight changes people. That type of fight will change you. And I think that changed Rory and Robbie. because I believe not long after that, Robbie got knocked out by Tyron Woodley at a fight that I was at. And trust me, the shot that he hit him with in Atlanta sounded like a shotgun went off in that arena.
Right. All right. I've seen that fight, man. And I work at the hospital where they come after the fight. And I done seen these dudes, man. That's man. You know, it's ugly, man. But that's all I got to say, man. We can go on to the next subject.
All right. So let's talk about this. Let's do fantasy fights, right? Okay. You guys are promoters. You could take a MMA fighter from way back in the day. You could take a fighter from current, or you could take two current fighters, or you could take two old school fighters. But we want to start with DJ, Reggie Owens, and then Mike Dub. Y'all tell me who y'all would pick.
Damn. Whoa, this one, yeah, shit. You should have prepared me for this.
Oh, this one's easy. This one's easy for me.
Go ahead, DJ.
My number one fantasy fight of all time is the fight that we got robbed of. Was Prime Cain Velasquez versus Fedor Emelianenko. We were robbed of that fight because Fedor has nutty Russian managers who are also bullies, who were trying to dictate who he fought and when he fought him when he came into the UFC, according to your man's Dana White, who's also a bully. So we got to take that for what it is. To me, Fedor is the greatest heavyweight MMA fighter ever, because what he was able to do in Pride. I remember waking up Saturday mornings watching Pride because it was on tape delay over here in the States, because there was an organization over in Japan that had the best fights ever. It's another, if you want to start, that's a good place to start. First of all, everybody was on fucking steroids. Everybody was juiced to the tits over there, but it was a level playing field because everybody was on it, and Fedor was absolutely mauling everybody over there. So at that time, you had Alistair, you had Crow Cop, you had Nogueira. I mean, the names that came out of Pride that Fedor beat were absolutely sensational. So that's my number one. That's my number one fight of all time. My number one fantasy fight of all time is. Yeah, when Rampage Jackson knocked out Chuck Liddell. When Chuck Liddell was starching everybody in the UFC, Dana White just came up with this bright idea. Hey, let's send Chuck over to Japan and have him fight Rampage Jackson. Yeah, that didn't work out too well.
Nope.
But that's my number one fantasy fight, Fedor versus Cain, and we didn't get it.
You know, mine would probably be then prime Chuck Liddell against John Jones.
Ooh, okay.
I would love to see Chuck Liddell throwing heavy blows, good sprawl and brawl. But John Jones with his reach and his relentless takedowns, you know, a young John Jones, wily. You know, this is obviously in prime though, before Chuck Liddell was getting knocked out by everybody, you know, Rashad, Rich Franklin, and The Wind. But yeah, I would like to see that.
All right, I got John Jones versus Anderson at 205, man. Prime for prime.
Woo! Talk to him, Mike.
Okay.
Talk to him.
Okay, I like that.
Damn.
Yeah, that one right there was fire. That was fire. I think so. I wanted to see Fedor because, like you stated, man, Fedor is one of the greatest heavyweights of all goddamn time. And I can't think who I wanted to see Fedor. And he was was he undersized as a heavyweight, you think? Or was
he
big? Yeah, fuck yeah. He's probably what? He's a stocky. Him and Daniel Cormier about the same size.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're probably both 5'10", hovering around 230, 235. Neither one of them had to cut weight as a heavyweight. And you got to think about it. They were fighting guys that were trying to make the 265 limit. They were probably, 280, 290 on fight night. So, definitely undersized for a heavyweight.
Yeah, and everything that
go ahead.
And every punch that Fedor threw, man, he didn't know what a jab was. Every punch he threw, he was trying to kill motherfucker with, man.
Straight hooks. Straight hooks. Straight hooks.
Hey, this is a fight I'm gonna say, but Fedor, my favorite heavyweight of all time. I would like to see Alistair Overeem in his prime versus Francis Ngannou.
He pieces Francis up in his prime. Like we talking Dream, and K1 Alistair, and the same Alistair that beat up Brock Lesnar, Overeem. That's what we talking about.
Yeah, he beats damn near everybody.
Yeah, he beats everybody. If we talking 2010, juice to the tits, Alistair Overeem, he beats everybody.
Liver kick.
Yeah, because he's got great striking. He can punch. He got precision. He can kick. He's not really a wrestler, but if you take him down, he's got a crazy guillotine and he's got a good Americana. That's Overeem. God damn, yeah, that's a fucking monster.
Overeem, son.
If you were constructing an MMA fighter like a super soldier, like an Avenger, right? And you start putting all of these different things together, Overeem would be one of those like super soldiers and shit.
Exactly. Go back and look at
Let me say something real quick, and then I'm gonna get out of here.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was at this restaurant, right? It was a Brazilian steakhouse called Texas de Brazil, right? It's down. It's right above the Strip at Town Center, Las Vegas, right? And I was in there, and fucking Vanderlei Silva come walking in there. Everybody, running and Vanderlei. Man, I walked up to that dude and I told him Rampage was gonna knock him the fuck out, man. And he looked at me crazy, and everybody else looked at me crazy and just brushed it off. And that shit happened. All right. But I'm gonna go, man. You guys have a good chat.
Hey, man, you got a death wish, Mike.
I'm about to say because
Vanderlei don't know English. He probably didn't understand that shit.
He understands English very well. He's just he's legit crazy, man. He's a legit crazy person.
Yeah, he smiled at me, man. That axe murderer is for real, man.
Yeah, had the best stare down ever.
Hey, in Pride, he was a motherfucking monster, dude. I miss that Pride shit, man. Where can you buy? I think Amazon may got some Pride videos, but man, Silva was a monster.
You can get all the fight. You have a UFC Fight Pass. They got all the fights.
Man, I don't like. They got Pride too. Man, I can't fuck with that. I'd rather own that shit on my own.
I got the DVDs. I got them at the gym, so they just play on the TV at the gym, like nonstop once I open the gym up. So, shit, I'll try to burn them for you, Reg.
Oh hell yeah! I'll pay for that shit.
Hey, Mike,
no, man.
I gotta get on my fantasy fight though.
Say that again.
Randy Couture, John Jones.
Okay.
Randy Couture.
Okay, I can see that.
Randy Couture is boring as fuck, man.
Yeah, I don't see that being a competitive fight at all, man. Like, Yeah, Randy Couture got that head you can't miss either. That shit got his own solar system, man. I just see John fucking taking it. And he can't out wrestle John. That's the thing, is like, can he out wrestle John? No. Can he out strike John? No. And he's smaller, right? Yeah, I don't see that, man.
Adesanya and GSP.
Man, I'm gonna have to go with
GSP.
I'm going with Israel, man.
GSP.
Nah, yeah, I'm gonna go with Izzy on that one, man.
Yeah.
And let me tell you why. Israel Adesanya's game is very similar to Anderson Silva, right? GSP didn't want to go up to 185 to fight against Anderson Silva because he has a little Mikey Garcia in him. Actually, he doesn't, because he didn't see something. He didn't see something that made him want to take that fight. And the fight was supposed to be made or negotiated on three different occasions over the course of about 4 years. So since he didn't want to take that fight because he obviously figured that it wouldn't work in his favor, because if it works in GSP's favor, he's an opportunist, and he'll capitalize on something that he can, like coming back to fight against Michael Bisping, like waiting to see if Khabib has some vulnerabilities. Like he'll try to capitalize on what he can. And because he didn't take that fight, that makes me think that he knew in his heart that he couldn't win. And with I'll say Kevin Holland, with Izzy being the closest thing to Anderson Silva at this point, I would have to take him. And also, go ahead. I'm sorry.
And if you remember, DB, Anderson was even willing to go down to 170 to fight him, and Dana told him no. No, you're not going down to 170. You're going to fight. I think it was Chael at the time. It was either Chael or Vitor who's up for a rematch with Anderson. No, you're going to take the rematch. You're going to fight. I can't remember whether it was Chael or Vitor, but Anderson was like, I'll go down to 170. I'll go down there where he's at. And Dana turned that fight down. So, George definitely wasn't coming up.
For sure. And George is a big dude, so it's not like George would have been really undersized. Like he one of those 205-pound walking around welterweights.
Yeah, easily over 200 pounds.
Yeah, and with a low percentage of body fat. So, for him to cut to 170 is tougher than the cut to 185. You got to
think about it. Him and Kamaru Usman are the same size, and Kamaru Usman's legit 200 pounds.
Yeah. That's a good fight, though. A good prime fight. Woo! Good Usman and GSP in a prime.
Yes. Absolutely.
Fest, man.
Mirror images of each other, actually.
Yeah.
that
got me fucked up.
Yeah, the GSP and Usman are mirror images of each other. They fight the exact same way. It's all about jab, kick, takedown.
All right. Most underrated fighter of all time.
Hey, Kyle, Kyle, I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off. Can I get something from Mike before he leaves? But I know he's getting ready to take off soon. But it's funny because my little brother asked me this question after the Kamaru Usman fight, and I thought about it. And let me just get this. So it says, what does Kamaru Usman need to do to surpass George St. Pierre as the king of the welterweights? And so I thought about a couple things real quick, and I was like, new contenders and new storylines, keep evolving and adding new tools, of course, obviously, staying disciplined, which he does, and to remain active and to just win. Like, so those are the things. But I was thinking if he fought Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, Michael Chiesa, Neil Magny, Vicente Luque, because he's beating everybody else, right? Those are the only four guys that he needs to beat, and then he would basically have run to the top 12 to 15 guys. But what do you think?
Yeah, you just got to keep racking up bodies, man.
Yeah, pretty much.
The guys that can challenge him, like Masvidal and fucking what's the white boy name? Covington. Oh yeah, I got another story, man. All right, when he fought Usman, right? I cheat, man. I stream all the fights when I'm at work on Saturday, right? These cats with this, they came up to my unit, knocking on the window. I'm like, who the fuck is this? Or whatever, man. I open the door, I look out there. It's Kobe Covington team. They was like, yeah, we're looking for it. I said, yeah. Drama's that way. I just watched him get his jaw broke.
Yeah.
I was happy about that, actually. I was like, yeah. Kobe's a turd, man. He's a turd that the UFC ain't flushed yet.
Yeah, but he'll fight, man, though, bro.
He's a fraud.
He tried his best.
His persona is a fraud, but the thing that makes it worse, he's a damn good fighter, man. Like, I believe he beats everybody in that division besides Usman. That's the crazy part about it.
Hey,
I don't know, man. I don't know. He got to get in there and fight these dudes. Some of these guys get fast tracked into the top 10, similar to what's Ratlip's name? Khamzat Chimaev. Some of these guys get this fast track and they get up there and they don't really work their way through. Like Kamaru Usman was really working. Fought the number 10 guy, fought the number 8 guy, fought the number 7 guy, fought the number 4 guy. You know what I mean? And this didn't happen. So he's got to show me that he can beat different styles of guys. He's got to show me that he can fight against a guy who's as slick with this striking of a Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. He's got to show me he can get in there and grind with another wrestler with good cardio like a Michael Chiesa, or he can take the lengthiness of a guy like Neil Magny, or a well-rounded, hard-nosed dude like Vicente Luque. Yeah, I mean, on paper, yeah, he may have a better resume, or because he's won an interim title. But he's got to show me that. He got to show me that he can get in there with a Leon Edwards, and he's got to show me that he can get in there and beat a guy like Gilbert Burns, who wants to get taken down so he can sub.
Wants him. Gilbert Burns has been antagonizing Colby for the past, ever since he lost that fight to Usman. He was like, "Where's Colby at? I'll take Colby. I'll get Colby out the way. Whatever I got to do to get back to Usman, I'll do it. Where's Colby at?" But you got to look at it though. They put a lot of stock in at that time. He beat Robbie Lawler, who was past his prime. He beat Damian Maia, who was past his prime, and he also beat Rafael dos Anjos, who's a former lightweight champion. He beat him. So all three of those guys, spectacular fighters, but they were all past their primes. And I believe the UFC gave him a lot of credit for that, even though the whole reason he started talking all this trash and being this pro MAGA guy and putting on this wrestling heel persona, they were about to cut him.
Right.
Because I think, who did he get subbed by? I think it was Wally Alves. He lost that fight, and he's not necessarily known for stopping people. He's known for his pace, his takedowns, and he just overwhelms people, but he doesn't necessarily get them out of there. So he was a boring fighter, and unfortunately, the UFC will cut your ass sometime if you are a boring fighter. Ask Stormin Norman Park, who only had one loss, I think 1 or 2 losses, and they cut him because every fight that he won was split decision. And so they cut him.
DJ, can you rewind real quick? You said some of the guys that he fought, you started naming some fighters, and you said the guys that he fought were past their prime. Who are those guys again?
He beat Robbie Lawler, who was past his prime.
Okay.
I'm talking about Covington. He beat Robbie Lawler. He beat Rafael dos Anjos.
Hall of Famer.
And he beat Damian Maia.
A Hall of Famer.
All Hall of Famers, no doubt about it, but they were all past their prime when he beat them.
Right. Yeah, so I'm gonna just rewind the show back about an hour. Thank you for that, because that's the same thing. There you go, Reggie. There you go, Reggie.
Hey, there you go, DB. I got a question for you, man.
I got a question.
Hey, man, you got to admit it, man. Aljo was getting his ass whooped.
Oh yeah, Aljo was getting beat the fuck up.
Man. From about halfway through the second round, he started getting
crazy adrenaline dump.
Yeah.
His adrenaline dump
about
was crazy.
The Russians, man, they always stay composed, man. You can hit them in the face, they still staring at you like whatever. Like, and you can't dance around with them. A lot of people, man, I see them, they try to play the dancing around game with the Russian, man. You just got to get in there and just beat them down. Just beat the shit out of them, man. Ain't no art to it.
Good luck.
But ain't nothing like fighting a black man, though. Black man reigns supreme over nearly everyone. Can't rest one.
How do y'all feel about a prime Tyron Woodley? Do y'all think he loses to Usman? Do y'all think he loses to Colby Covington? Prime Tyron Woodley.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
I just want to say this because Tyron, even in his prime, will still fight the same way he's fighting now. He's inconsistent.
Thank you.
Speak on it, Red. Speak on it. That's right.
Yeah, I think sometimes when I look at Woodley, man, I see it clear.
To Colby Covington?
Hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not taking it. I'm not taking that one. But Usman, yeah.
Yeah. So as I watch this guy, and if you think about this, right? So I'm gonna use the boxing parallel again, right? You have somebody who's fighting and he becomes a 1 division champion and a 2-weight division champion, a 3-weight and a 4-weight division champion. And everybody likes this guy and he's a front runner. When he's beating guys that he's supposed to beat, you don't really look at it as nothing special, right? But then when they started upping the talent and going up and fighting better people, then they start fighting tentative and scared to throw punches. And who I'm referring to is Adrian Broner. And Tyron Woodley reminds me of a MMA version of Adrian Broner. He gets in the big fights and he cannot
Okay.
perform. So that's what I see. And
Yeah. Go
Right.
ahead, David. Go ahead, DB. Go ahead and finish cooking. I'm gonna add to
Yeah.
that. Go ahead and finish cooking.
Yeah. So with all of Tyron's physical attributes, you know, he's got the physique. He's got a decent amount of cardio. He's a phenomenal wrestler. He's explosive. He's got power. But there's two things that may be missing. It's the mental part and the thing that you have in your chest that pumps blood through your body. That's called a heart. Those two things here lacking in some way. And those are the reasons why Kamaru Usman, no matter if it was in Tyron Woodley's prime or not, his prime and Usman prime, Usman beats because he wants to dig deep and he wants to find a way to win the fight. You knock him down, you have a submission on him, he's going to fight and try to find a way to overcome the adversity and win the fight. Go ahead, DJ.
If you remember that fight when he lost to Rory McDonald, I believe Kobe would have implemented the same plan as Rory McDonald did. Just press him up against the cage, jab his face off. And if you remember, I think it was twice or maybe 3 times in that third round, Rory actually took Tyron down. And he wasn't making this spirited effort trying to get up. He just kind of laid there and accepted the position. Tyron's problem is he waits for the big shot. He'll throw punches in spurts. He'll throw leg kicks. At one point, he had devastating leg kicks that he just for some reason stopped throwing, and he fell in love with his knockout power. And he was an all-American wrestler. He now has his black belt in jiu-jitsu. He has an amazing ground game, but he fell in love with his power. And so when you fall in love with your power, you start waiting on the shots. And that's what he fell into. Well, you remember for a long time, Dana White he wouldn't put him in any big fights because once he put him in there with Rory, and it was another fighter that he put him in there with. I think at the time it was Jake Shields when Jake Shields had just lost to GSP. Jake Shields beat him as well, was able to take him down, control him, and got a split decision win over him. But Dana White's perception of Tyron was he chokes in big fights, and outside of
Damian Maia fight too.
Damian Maia fight, but yeah, kind of because he said that's the fight he tore his shoulder up.
Well, retrospectively, I mean, we could look back and go, "Nah, dude, you did the same shit you did against Kobe Covington."
Facts.
Oh, my rib.
Yeah, and the same thing with but that's kind of how the way you gotta fight Wonder Boy though. You can't lead the dance because everybody that leads the dance with Wonder Boy ends up waking up, trying to figure out what in the hell just happened.
So man, I see, and it says as a casual fan that only watches black fighters, when it comes to MMA, I thought he was hella good. I thought he was the goods. Now Usman did him like dirty. I mean, he dusted him off. But I thought Tyron really was a good fighter, man. I mean, he had a belt for a long time. But I mean, y'all made it smart. He's ass cheeks. So he's ass cheeks.
No,
he was the goods.
No heart, man.
He was the goods. He was a complete fighter, but once he knocked out a couple people, he fell in love with his power. And once you fall in love with your power, just like in boxing, you stop setting up combinations. You stop using all your tools. So you start sitting back. His thing was he just fall back to the cage, let you come to him, and he tried to catch you with one big shot. But at the same time, the way the judging works in MMA, if your back is against the cage, you're losing the fight. No matter if you're landing elbows or whatever else in the clinch, if your back is against the cage, the judges and their fucked up way of looking at it, excuse my language, and their way of looking at it, you're losing the fight. So in 3-round fights, their fights are only 3 rounds if it's not a title fight or a main event in UFC. So if you spend 2.5 rounds on the cage with your back against the cage, waiting to knock a guy out, all of a sudden you're down 2 rounds. So you got to knock him out. So that's what Tyron fell into. He was a good fighter, but then he fell in love with his power and started dropping some decisions. And then once guys start getting their hands on him and figured out, hey, I can control him and I can break him. So, and that's what he fell into.
Hey, DJ, Now
Yes.
I put this back up because I did not know that. See, I didn't know that if you go to the gate that they perceive that as you getting your ass whipped. I didn't know that. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man. Today has been very, 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 very informative. Man, we're not ending the show. I just gotta pause real quick and tell y'all this has been a very, very informative show. I mean, if you didn't know shit about MMA, you're gonna go away knowing some shit about MMA. You guys have done a hell of a job, man, studying this sport and giving us a hell of a show tonight, man. And I'm thankful, man, to have you guys on this panel with the knowledge that you guys have, man, and the fact that you guys are very, very respectful and we're not stepping on each other's toes, man. It's an amazing thing, man. And I really appreciate our boys, man. This shit was good, man. I can't lie. You know what I'm saying? I'm a casual MMA fan. You know what I'm saying? I really only watch black fighters, but now y'all got me wanting to watch everybody. And so I appreciate that. So now it's like the focus, my focus is boxing. But man, y'all got me wanting to watch this UFC shit, man. I'm telling you. But go ahead, y'all handle your business.
And not just UFC, man. Check out some of those Bellator fights as well, because there's a guy over there at 170 pounds named Douglas Lima who could probably give Usman a run for his money. He's a legit Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt and he's broken guys. He's stopped guys. I think DB helped me out. How many guys has he stopped with leg kicks? Was it 3 or 4?
4 with leg kicks.
He stopped 4 guys just by kicking their legs. He's broken guys' legs just by kicking them, and they'll stop and they'll drop and they'll want no part of it. They can't stand by the time the fight's over with. But as far as the scoring goes in MMA, it's based off striking, grappling, aggression, and octagon control. So like DB was saying earlier, if you take a guy down and he gets right back up, that should count for nothing to me because you didn't control him. Now, if you take a guy down and you're able to land some ground and pound and actually do damage, Khabib style, and actually hold him there, you know, that should count the same as a knockdown in boxing. And I think the scoring in MMA is starting to reflect that a little bit, because the last fight with Izzy and Jan, when Jan took him down with like 3 minutes left in the round and held him there. Now, he wasn't doing a lot of damage, but at the same time, Izzy couldn't get up. So the judges look at that as a dominant round for Jan. Go ahead, guys.
Yeah, just real quick, just to finish what you were saying about Douglas Lima. So for the people who don't know him, you guys know who MVP is, Michael Venom Page. He's got that same bloodline or fighting style as the Kevin Hollands, as the Anderson Silva, as the Israel Adesanya. He's got that same sort of tall, lanky body type and not necessarily fighting style, but the body type. But Douglas Lima is the one that knocked him out. So if you remember that crazy karate style entrance by Michael Venom Page and see him get knocked out, Douglas Lima was that guy.
I can't hear
Say it
nothing.
again.
So if they rematch, man.
Y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear
we
you.
Can hear you.
Yeah. I want to see the rematch too, Big Mike.
Yeah, because I mean, it was like the way he got caught, man. That wide stance, man. He kicked his legs from up under him and the uppercut, boom. He's out of there.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever, man. I like some of the ONE FC fighters too. What are you guys? What is y'all take on Khalil Roundtree?
Khalil is. Let me see. How do I say this? I'm trying to tell you the way I tell my brothers, man. I want to respect the platform, so I'm gonna say some dudes are called NIGs, and other ones are black guys. He's a black guy. He don't got no hood in him. He just got the same complexion that he just got melanin. That's it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's Khalil was just an athlete. He's one of those dudes that's been been playing basketball, football, sports his entire life. He's always had a physique. He's been fighting and doing, karate and stuff for a long time. So that's why he's in the sport. But he's not one of those dudes that would walk into a gym at 23 or 24 years old and go, I want to fight. That's not in him. So, yeah, that's my take on Khalil.
Right. Khalil Roundtree is the one where white dude gets caught for calling a bunch of people the nigger and says, I got black friends. Khalil's the nigga that shows up.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. That's accurate. That's accurate.
Yeah. Why, is he your cousin or something?
Nah, hell no. I just watched the nigga fight. And,
He from Vegas, right?
I just know that, I don't know where you from, man. I just know I watched him, man. And I watched him fight when he knocked out the one Russian guy. I can't think of his name. And then I watched him after he came back from Thailand. And he seemed like one of those dudes, man, that like he'll change his accent, around whoever he hanging with. So if he with a bunch of guys from the UK, man, he'll start talking like them.
Yeah, that fight when he. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah. And I watched him, beat Eric Anders, man. And man, that shit was like, if you ever want to, watch a fight on how to just chop a tree down, man, that was it, man. But I can't get a beat on this dude, man. Like I'm like, man, this dude is kind of funny. So I was just wondering how y'all felt about him. But
yeah. So just so y'all know, because I know people will look and I know y'all gonna try to call me out for not saying it. Yeah, he from LA, but he from a different side though. So for people that's from California, from LA, that there's the west side.
So is Ray J and Amarion. So what?
Yeah, there you go. But it's different sides though. So this dude is from like Glendale. That ain't the same as my hood. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that it ain't nothing like South Central.
Where you from?
South Central.
From South Central?
Yeah, I'm from South Central.
Oh, okay. I'm from the Willowbrook area, man. I went to 112.
Oh shit, you from? There you go. Well, shit.
You near Watts?
Yeah. Shit. So
yeah, I went to 112 Willowbrook, and then by the time I got in high school, I was living at Long Beach. I went to Long Beach, Jordan, just to give a little background.
Yeah, so you near me and Reggie somewhat. My grandfather came from Nicaragua. He built a house on 112. So yeah, my family still got a spot over there, and we lived off of 103rd and Compton on 96 and Pace, and then moved over to my mom is a twin, moved over with her twin sister, and went to Woodcrest. I don't know if you're familiar with Woodcrest. Woodcrest, yeah. And then
go ahead,
shit, I lived all over though. I lived in so both of my parents are in medicine. So there was a lot of times, and when I say medicine, sometimes people think, oh, they doctors, so y'all rich. Like, no, they was going through the process. You know what I'm saying? Like doing residencies and all of that kind of stuff. So, we was living with uncles and aunties and stuff like that. And everybody was living in the project. So we lived literally in the Nickersons, the Jordan Downs, the Avalon Gardens, and the Park Adams. You know what I'm saying? So like we was always, we was all over LA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so when I say I'm from all over.
Yeah, I've been all over too, man. I'm gonna skip all the formalities, man. I'm from Carver Park, man. But
yeah.
Yeah, go ahead. Next up.
Yeah, right on. Yeah, good.
Right on. Got rep your shit.
Yeah.
Hey y'all, man, I'm having some technical difficulties, man. My internet.
Shit, we don't need you. We cooking.
Oh man, we can't do this without the host with the most, man. We got No, Khalil Roundtree from Simi Valley.
Hey, start me out, DB.
He really from Simi Valley?
No, I don't know. I'm just talking. I got family in Pomona and Simi Valley. That's why when I came out to LA when I was like 15, I was like, man, this shit ain't bad at all, man. what are they talking about? This is nice out here. It's
Yeah,
like,
Simi
oh
Valley,
no.
yeah, Simi Valley, Whiteville and the motherfucker. And the funny shit
I
about
know
that,
it.
I had a cousin from Simi Valley who he got put on 60s. And he was the craziest nigga I never met, man. It was crazy. With a proper
I
ass
just remember
accent. Talking about cuz.
I just remember being out there and I was like, damn, it's a lot of police and there's a lot of motherfucking cops live out this bitch, man. How y'all like it out here? Like, how y'all operate? I'm nervous because coming from Alabama, coming way out there, man. I've heard stories about LAPD and how treacherous they are. So I was like, man, y'all live around a lot of fucking police out here in Simi Valley. I was like, what? How far are we from Compton? What Compton at? Oh, nah, man, that's way over there, man. We good over here.
Yeah, don't be fooled by coming here. When y'all go to places like Glendale or go to the West Side Pavilion and go to Simi Valley, Thousand Oaks, and think you in LA. Like, that ain't LA proper. Those are people when they out of town, they say they're from LA because people don't know those cities. But don't, like, I always tell people, man, please don't get it fucked up. Don't think that Florence, Manchester, Century, Imperial, Rosecrans, like, don't think those the same as being like around Pico and Wilshire. It's a completely different world. It's the same city, but the world is different. You know what I'm saying?
They let me know quick. I was nowhere near Inglewood, Watts. They let me know that quick.
Yeah, that's a fact. So I don't want people come in here thinking that it's something sweet in our city and shit. You don't, shit. Y'all done heard Reggie talking about it plenty of times. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit in your own neighborhood. I mean, shit, Mike know this same thing too. Shit, you might be on a certain block, and your block is like the cutoff for like dudes from that neighborhood is on that block, but the next block over start the next hood, and 4 blocks over start another hood, and you go two blocks east, and then it's another hood, and then you got. So this shit is crazy. You have 3 Crip hoods, 2 Bloods hoods, and shit, some essays. And
no matter what, out of bounds is out of bounds, man.
Out of bounds, yeah. But you go to a liquor store or a gas station or some shit like that, yeah, it's a whole different world.
Hey, on some real shit. Hey, and I was tripping the other day. I was just thinking, I'm going to these random thoughts. And just like you said, out there in LA, you can't play in every park. You can't go to every store. You can't go to every gas station. Yeah, man. That's why I be telling, man, when I be listening to the cats on this internet shit, I be tripping because our perspectives, our worlds are different and our experiences are different. Even as kids, when we used to grow up playing football in the streets, at a certain age, that shit was a wrap. You didn't see us out in the streets no more because now we become of age to where we look like, oh yeah, these niggas probably from this neighborhood. And now you're worried about cats driving up the streets. A football game, you out there playing out there all nilly-willy and you could be regular teenagers, just regular good kids and shit. That shit ain't the same from other people out there on a mission. They see your ass out there, you fool to them.
Okay, so it's way different than here, man. Say like a city like Birmingham, you have one section of the city where it's just absolutely it's anarchy, and then you go to the other side of the city. Say like the west side of Birmingham is where you hear about all the murders and all the carjackings and everything. And then you go to the south side, which is the white side of town. You got more hospitals, you got more mansions, you got more private schools. But back on the west side of Birmingham, it's the fucking Wild West out there, man. They don't give a fuck. They shoot at everybody. The police in Birmingham have something called the green light. They had the green light way before all the Black Lives Matter stuff started because 3 cops got killed over in this neighborhood. They pinned them in. These guys were smart. They pinned them in and they shot up the cop car and legit killed these cops in broad daylight. So if you do anything besides put your hands on the steering wheel, they will shoot you in Birmingham. They do not play. And the police are hood as fuck in Birmingham. So we don't have as many, like you have gangs everywhere in every city and every state and everywhere. But here it's more what side of town are you from? Like if it's Bloods and Crips on the west side, the Bloods will fuck with the Crips on the west side, but they don't fuck with the Bloods and Crips on the east side. You get what I'm saying? So they'll mingle with each other, but they just know they can't go over to the east side. So it's not like you'll have this block will be Bloods and the next block will be Crips, but they cool with each other. They respect each other. But fuck them East Side guys. You get what I'm saying?
Hey, and it's funny talking about Mike talking about he lived in Long Beach because I was out there. You got reputable Asian hoods out there. Like LA is a man. Like when they talk about gang type shit, a lot of that gang shit. Just
it transcended every culture, man. You had Asian gangs, more. Everybody was banging, man. In the 90s, everybody was banging, man. It was hard for you to find somebody that didn't have hood or whatever, man. You know,
wow, that's crazy.
That was just a part of life, man. And the Asians was just as crazy as everybody else, man. You know, it is what it is, man. I had homies from Asian boys and TRG and all that stuff, man. I went to school with, and they was with it just like all the brothers and everybody else. You know, they wasn't backing down, man. But
Polynesians and all of that. The whole Long Beach and South Bay area. You have Samoans and Tongans. Like you said, it unspread through all of these different people. But if you want to get a glimpse of what the life is, but a comedic view, and I think Reg posted some of his stuff too. But it's a dude named Watts Homie Quan, and he do all of these little skits, and he's telling basically how it is and how it was in LA in certain places, going to certain liquor stores, gas stations, in high school, like all of these little skits that he does. They're funny, but I guess it's probably funnier to people from SoCal because you basically grew up in that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it's it's the best city in the world, man. Like ain't nothing like Southern California, Los Angeles, South Central. Like it's the best, but at times it's also the worst. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it ain't just palm trees and shit. The palm trees is nice, palm trees and girls in bikinis and all of that old type shit. But at the same time, too, shit, it's brains and shit is noodles on the floor. You know?
Yeah. That shit was eye opening to me, man. When I went out there, because I've only been past the Mississippi 3 times. I've been to Vegas. I've been to, like I said, I've been to Simi Valley and Pomona out there in California, and I've been to Killeen, Texas. I'll never go back to Vegas because I end up losing 3 stacks in the casino out there. And I started to turn all that shit over out there. But, you know, it is what it is. It's Vegas, man.
Yeah, that's what it's designed for, man. Or whatever,
man.
Yeah,
I won't be going back to Vegas no time soon.
Hey, man, have you guys ever heard of Steve Muhammad? Martial artist?
Steve Muhammad.
I heard of that name.
Yeah. Steve Muhammad is the
Wesley Snipes.
The fastest hands in martial arts.
Right. Sparred with Bruce Lee. Whatever, man. Yeah, man. I talked to that dude, man. He still got it. He's still sharp. He still got it together, man. He out there in Atlanta.
In his 80s, ain't he?
Yeah. He do Zoom classes and stuff or whatever because because of COVID and everything, man. But you know, that'll be like a nice person to get on the show and be a guest with, man, because he got a lot of knowledge, man. And that's
crazy. Crazy that you said that because he might be coming on our show pretty soon.
Oh,
we're actually working on that. Yeah. Him.
Well, he trained my uncle, man. They go way back, man. And he told a story, man, about it was like me like being in a time machine, man, because he told a story that involved Big Tookie, man. And shit was it was crazy because they had the BKF, and that was and back then martial arts was real big in California, and the Crips was still in high school and stuff, and they would go to this movie theater and pour their own popcorn and take this bullying shit, or whatever. So the movie theater owner hired the BKF to come in there and check them. And, all them karate brothers, man, they was in there about 50 deep, sitting in the movie, and they had a face off, and shit was live, man. So if he come on your show, I'm definitely come have him talk about that again or whatever.
Yeah,
but he was Wesley Snipes' bodyguard. He also taught him martial arts or whatever. He worked with him for a bunch of years or whatever, and real martial arts legend, man. But he was telling me about another brother that they wouldn't let into the UFC because of his ties to Islam or whatever, back, and how bad the dude was or whatever. So if he does come on the show, man, Well, I'll definitely beam in and ask him some questions, man. We'll make
Yeah,
that a fun one.
yeah. Fred's dropping a video tomorrow or today, Friday, on a person that we interviewed, and he was hurt instructor for many years, but so you'll hear, me talk about Steve Muhammad a little bit in that interview.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, brothers. I got to get back to work, man. This was a great talking with you guys. Some more knowledgeable cats about UFC, man. Because brothers don't like UFC, man. But one thing about it is you can have a loss and still get a championship shot. So
that's right.
Oh yeah.
So that's what I like about that sport, man. And not only that, man. Everybody trains everything, so the fights are more exciting. You're having more stand-up fights. You got these hybrid fighters, man. Like Usman, man. Like, yeah, he's a wrestler, man, but he could take a punch, man. And he knows his boxing ain't as good as everybody's, but he gonna keep coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right, y'all take care, man.
All right, thanks, man. Appreciate you being here.
Blessings, brother.
All right.
So, appreciate you. Hey, so we're gonna do the final words, man. Hey, listen, we're gonna start with DJ, then we'll go with Sir Reggie Owens, and then we'll go with DB.
There was a couple of questions in the chat. I don't know if you wanted to address those real fast.
Where we at with it? Where we at with it?
Shit. Let me grab my phone.
I say because I can't see the chat. So
okay. Let me see. Hold on. Let me see. Jay Dixon. Let me see. I think the only way Usman beats him is his grappling. No, that wasn't it. Tyron Woodley. No, that wasn't it. Jay Dixon said, "Go back and watch Woodley. They're making him sound like he's garbage." No. Jay Dixon. We wasn't saying that he was garbage. Like, he is fighting like a scared dude now, But when he was in his heyday, yeah, he was the man. He's just not the same fighter anymore. So,
yeah, he's just a shot fighter at this point.
Yeah. Douglas Lima, though, great fighter, very well rounded, high IQ, world champion level. Usman, Mars, Lima. Yeah, Redcliffe, I agree with you. I think it'll be a good fight for one round, but I think the further the fight goes on, that Kamaru Usman turns it on and finds himself in his range. Yeah. Jay Dixon said, "Respect to MVP. Took the Lima fight after his dad died." Yeah, true that. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I forgot about that. That's right.
Yeah.
His dad. Yeah.
True.
But yeah, it was during that welterweight tournament too, though.
Right. But also too for Douglas Lima. Douglas Lima ended up fighting the middleweight champ. What's his name? The Middle Eastern guy. What's his name? Gegard Mousasi.
He's Dutch. Mousasi.
Yeah.
Who was a motherfucker. Excuse my language.
Yeah. So it's different when you watch these guys in ONE FC, when you guys just watching SFMMA and these, ONE FC, these other organizations, these guys have a little more leeway, right? Because these bosses are all not the matchmakers, and the presidents of the company are not bullies like Dana White. So even though we say UFC because it was the first big promotion that was around, but yeah, you got to check out some of these other ones. Jay Dixon said, "What do y'all think about Crazy Horse?" I love his attitude. That's a fighter at heart.
Yeah, he's a legit crazy person, man, and I think his nickname is well deserved. Even though his record is not the best, you gotta respect guys who go out and fight. Like a lot of fan favorites out here don't have the best records. You look at guys like Clay Guida and Nate Diaz and the Diaz brothers and some more fighters that probably don't have the best records, but they're blood and guts guys. They're gonna go out, and Diego Sanchez, they're blood and guts guys who are going to go out there and they're gonna fight. They're gonna put on a show. They've been in some of the best fights. They've been in some wars over the years, and it's taking a toll on them. And they probably have double-digit losses, but fans still want to see them fight because they're exciting fighters.
Yeah. And certain dudes, man, they just have heart, and Shout out to my brother JB, Jasam Brown in the chat. I think some of those fighters, because he come from an area in San Bernardino and the San Bernardino and Riverside County, man, they got some monsters down there too. But Cub Swanson, Kevin Holland, Roosevelt Roberts, Bobby Green, like these are some dudes. Some of them are newcomers. Some of these guys they kind of have that same thing with Crazy Horse. These dudes will fight anybody, anywhere, anytime. Send me the contract and I'm signing it. I'm here to fight and I'm here to make money. And but that's the same way I feel about Crazy Horse. He'll fight anybody, anytime, but which is one of the reasons why he's got some of the L's on his record. He'll take this short notice fight. He'll do all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And when I was in Japan, this dude is a bona fide star. They fucking love him in Japan.
True.
Let's see. And then Jay Dixon clowning, talking about Khalil Roundtree said, "Claim your people." And then Cameron Markham said, "No love for Diamond Poirier at 55." What you think?
It's absolutely. That you see they just announced that fight today where Michael Chandler and Charles Oliveira, they're going to be fighting for the vacant lightweight championship. I think that's absolutely crazy. I don't know how Poirier's not in there against Charles Oliveira. How can you give Michael Chandler a title shot after only one fight in the UFC? Even though Charles Oliveira is a dangerous guy, I think he beats Michael Chandler, honestly, because he's big for the division. He's like, 5'11", 6 foot. And Michael Chandler is only like, 5'7", 5'8", maybe. And his chin has been suspect in the past. So I think he'll come in there and try to take him down. And Charles Oliveira has these long limbs, and he's able to wrap your neck up and choke you out. Like him mauling Tony Ferguson showed a lot to me. Him mauling Kevin Lee, who was a phenomenal young talent. I wish he would find a gym and stick with it. He was with Faraz Sahabi up at TriStar up in Canada, who was George St. Pierre and Rory McDonald's trainer for a long time. I wish he'd stay with him and round out his game, because for a long time he really didn't have a gym to stay. He really didn't have a gym that could bring out the best of his skills.
Right. Yeah. I think Dustin Poirier has a great resume. He's got a lot of names on there. Some people might call him excite-em. I don't like Rock'em Sock'em Robots. That ain't my thing. I like a more technical fight that, if I sat in a room with 100 people, probably 95 of the people would be like, "Oh, this is a boring fight," but I like technical stuff. I like the physical chess. I like it being like a chess match. Those are the ones I like. And he gets into those Rock'em Sock'em fights where he stands in the middle and wants to bang with people. But yeah, I got a lot of respect for him. I think he's got a great resume. But to kind of answer your question, DJ, he didn't want the title fight. He wants money fights. That's what he said. So he said he wants to take fights.
Come on.
Yeah, that bullshit. I know.
Yeah,
so
he wants to beat up Conor again. That's his thing.
Yep. And if he beats Conor again, which I'm pretty sure he will, I'm almost certain. I think he'll take a Nate Diaz fight, and that fight will probably be at 170. But I think those are the fights that he'll end up. Those are the people that he'll end up fighting, and after that, he'll probably just hang it up after that. In terms of the lightweight title, Michael Chandler versus Charles Oliveira, I agree with you. I think Charles Oliveira pretty much beats everybody. I think the only person that may have a chance at like beating him, the top 5 guys, would be Justin Gaethje, and I think it should have been Justin Gaethje.
I was just about to say Gaethje.
Yeah, Charles Oliveira versus Justin Gaethje. But Charles Oliveira is a human anaconda, and yeah, he's not just going to choke you, but if he gets any submission, whether he's on the bottom, if he's on the side, he's at the top, he's going to try to take a limb. Leg locks, heel hooks, anacondas, rear naked chokes, whatever it is, like he will try, but he's got the record for the most submissions in UFC history. So, watch out for that dude, but I think he'll be the next lightweight champion. And yeah, I think
who was that guy that he cut up from the bottom? He had a guy locked in a full triangle, and instead of submitting him, he just started banging him with elbows and cut him up real bad from the bottom. Who was that, man? I'm trying to think of that fight.
Yeah,
man. Can't remember that fight, man. But back to the scoring, Kyle. A lot of times, what MMA needs to do is they need to start recognizing these guys. As a jiu-jitsu guy, I'm a jiu-jitsu black belt myself. I'm not black belt, but blue belt. Excuse me. Ooh, don't let me put that shit out there.
Damn.
I'm a blue belt. I'm a blue belt. But but to the scoring, man, they need to start recognizing these guys that are doing work off their back. If you're constantly throwing up submissions and hitting guys with elbows from the bottom, I believe that should go into the scoring. But the way the scoring is now, if you're on your back, you're losing unless you submit the guy.
Yeah.
All right, fellas. Man, look, man, my allergies are running crazy, man. Let's get these final words out, man. We're gonna go DJ, Sir Reggie Owens, and then DB.
Yes, sir.
All right, another great show, fellas. I appreciate y'all having me on, getting to talk MMA. I don't get to do that much around here besides guys at my gym and guys on Twitter. You can reach me on Twitter at Deez2189, DEEZ2189. And I just love fighting, man. I love fighting, whether it's kickboxing, Muay Thai, jiu-jitsu, MMA, boxing, whatever. I just love fighting, man. I love all aspects of fighting. And I enjoy getting to talk about it with great people, man, and respectful conversations. So anytime you guys will have me, I'll come on, man. I appreciate it. Shout out to my guy Kyle in the boxing section once again for a great show. And shout out to the panel, my guy DB, my guy Sir Reggie Owens, you know what I'm saying, California's finest, you know, and I appreciate it, fellas.
Sir Reggie Owens, man. Sir Reggie Owens.
Man, y'all crazy. Reggie Owens, nigga. Oh, man, this is a dope-ass fucking MMA show, man. Great show. Great shit, man. DB, DJ, Mike. Man, y'all drawing my interest back into MMA. I kind of follow it lightly, but not as, in depth like you guys. Back in the day, I did, until I started having this issue with fucking Dana White and shit, and going away from only watching selected fights. But man, keep having these discussions, man, on this MMA shit, because through conversation you draw this interest and shit. And it's been a dope ass conversation, and even bringing other people into it, because combat sports is combat sports. You got the choices of boxing, you got the choices of MMA. And I've always kind of stuck on that side. You enjoy combat, the aspects of art, the aspects of combat. So it was always dope. And then I need to follow it, because I remember, I'll never forget, I'm still laughing at this shit. Here y'all call the girl Bullet, because I'm making these old lesbian references to what's her name? To Amanda Nunes. And I'm talking about Amanda Nunes getting in these fights because she be thinking about getting back to that cat. And somebody was like, yeah, she's gonna be in there with Bullet. And I'm laughing my ass off thinking she's gonna be having a bullet on her. And I know this.
We know where your mind at, sir.
Yeah. So I gotta follow this shit more. But that's my thoughts, man. This is a dope ass convo, man.
Yeah, go follow her on Instagram, man. She loves guns. That's why her name's Bullet.
Yeah, I was thinking
she's a legit marksman as well as an accomplished martial artist.
Yeah, I was thinking about them little machines the girls be rubbing their clit with. That's what I thought the dude was talking about.
Oh my God.
Rich thinking about the Bullet.
Hey, I was rolling like a motherfucker when they said that, because I'm making them up lesbian references to Amanda Nunes.
Oh man. Hey man, shout out to Kyle, man, the boxing section, man. My California brother, man, holding it down at the top of the state for us, man. Appreciate you having this the show and the platform and allowing us to express our passion for combat sports and MMA in particular this night, man. We had a great panel, man. It's good to talk to the brother Mike. Always good to talk with my brother DJ. Reg thinks he's a casual, but he's not, man. Reg is a hardcore combat sports athlete fan. And you can tell by not just the videos on his page, but you also check out his Instagram, and he'll always be showing kickboxing and all sorts of things, though. So he loves combat too. But yeah, great to have him on here. And man, I wish, man, and next time my brother Big Tank, the Sweet Science Examiner, he got to get in here early, man, so he can jump on this with us too, because he's a martial artist and also loves the combat sports. But yeah, Kyle, man, I appreciate it this weekend, man. So for the MMA that we got this weekend, we got Kevin Holland, the prospect of the year, the rookie of the year last year, fighting against Derek Brunson in the main event. And the co-main event, we got Gregor Gillespie, phenomenal grappler, against Brad Riddell, who's on a 6-fight win streak. He just defeated Alex De Silva in his last fight. He fights out of City Kickboxing in New Zealand with Israel Adesanya and that good team down there. And then after that, like DJ said, we got Michael Chandler getting ready to square up with Charles Oliveira on May 8th. I think Corey Sandhagen is getting in the ring with TJ Dillashaw on his return from his doping suspension, and also coming off of a loss to Henry Cejudo. And yeah, it's going to be some good stuff. I think on May 22nd or maybe the 29th, we got the former champ Cody Garbrandt getting in the ring with Rob Font, who just came off phenomenal I think it was a 20-second knockout. So it's a whole bunch of stuff going on, man, in the sport. Y'all can always catch me, man. Catch me every day just about on Barbershop Conversations, or y'all can catch me on my channel, DB. And man, peace and salute to all y'all, man. Be safe, and looking forward to this one again.
Man, for sure. We're gonna get right back in here next week. Next Thursday. We're going to dedicate another show to the MMA guys, man, because a lot of the homies, man, they love MMA, and I want to get them an outlet to enjoy boxing, but also get to enjoy the MMA. There's a big fight next week, right? Stipe and Ngannou, right?
You mean Ngannou and Stipe? You put Ngannou first.
Man, you put the champion first. Stop being disrespectful.
However, you know what I'm saying? So I want y'all to get back. I want y'all to come back and touch on that fight. We'll mix the MMA in with the boxing. I had to give y'all this, man, because a lot of people just don't know anything about MMA, and I learned so much from you guys today, man. So I really appreciate y'all boys coming through and doing what y'all did tonight, man. Because at the end of the day, man, we all fans of the sports. Combat sports, you know what I'm saying? So, man, I appreciate you coming through, man.
And the chat too, man. The chat was interactive, man. They did a good job too, man. Shout out to the brother Jay Dixon. We had P Good in there. The Queen Patricia Shelton just came through. She said, "Good morning, fellas." Misfit Ethan. He said, "Have a great night, Kyle." Who else we got in there? Robert Brown, salute to you, man. Thanks for coming through and represent for the brother Kyle. Yova, holding it down, California family. Robert Brown, we got you. Cameron Markham, Jason Brown, salute to JB. Yeah, man, and the rest of the family that came in and represent for our brother Kyle, man. Appreciate y'all.
And like I say, man, it's always a treat when players meet. You know what I'm saying? And it's another one like the other one, same super heated. Chicken one day, feathers the next. I'm happy that y'all came through here, man. Salute to the chat. Salute to my guys that joined the panel. And we back at it again tomorrow. And don't forget, Sunday, Super Sunday. I got 2 or 3 interviews lined up. Sunday is a wide open day for us. So, man, y'all come through and show some love, man. And remember, Reggie Owens and Tank, they got their book readings on their pages. So if you can't read and you want to get some information, go ahead and let me speak to you, man. They had a great content, man. And of course, Tank is coming out with his movie page, man. So y'all stay tuned for that. And of course, man, always and forever, man, we're forever indebted into Barbershop Conversations, man. Because if it wasn't for Fred, none of us would be here as far as in this on this panel. You know what I'm saying? On this channel. So I give a lot of credit to Fred, man. Shout out to my dog Reggie Owens, Sir Reggie Owens. You know what I'm saying? One more again, Sir Reggie Owens, man, for letting me get the slot, man. And man, I'm forever grateful for that, man. For real. But like I always say, man, we'll keep our foots on these niggas' necks, and I'll see y'all tomorrow, man, for sure. We're going
At the roots, he let the beats build, bitch. And we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No. At the roots, he let the beats build, bitch, and we never switch. Even if I'm rich, I'll be broke like I'm Mitch. Niggas talking down, but that's headed in the wrong direction. But I knock that shit out like the boxing section. Cause they can't touch what they can't see. All I gotta do is be the same me. All I gotta do is keep it G. Always be the same me. While I'm solid, boy, they can't change me. No.